Can you guys see my screen? One of you please confirm if you can see my screen. Okay, great. I believe that you have heard this at least 5 times in the last 2 days, but I am Bhavna and I'm going to be one of your mentors for this project. And it's going to be a very, very short session today. I'm just going to give you an overview of what we are actually going to do. And I'll start giving you some resources that you have to work on. And there will be one little assignment for you guys to do. Okay, so the name of the project is Chirp, Birdsong Recognition. What we are going to do is we are going to create a neural network which will allow us to differentiate between various sounds that birds make. Will be able to find out which bird is it that the sound belongs to. Now, I believe I have already briefed you on the programming languages and libraries we are going to use. But once again, we are going to begin with NumPy. That is what the assignment that I'll give you today is going to be about. NumPy and then Pandas. These two libraries are extremely important for EDA. You see this EDA, that is the first thing we're going to do on our CSV files. If you don't know what a CSV file is, it is a comma separated values, which means that you'll have, for example, it might look something like you have this name, comma, roll number, and then you have in the next subsequent rows, you have the names, comma, roll numbers. Okay, that is what comma separated files look like. So they are just separated by commas, and you can also like convert them into an Excel sheet. They work pretty much the same way, but these are more convenient to work with. If you are doing coding, you cannot like do that with an Excel file. So we do that with CSV files. So what we are going to do is we'll have certain CSV files. We'll have one for our final project that we'll do in week 3. But in week 1, we will have a practice file where we learn how to do cleaning and pre-processing. What that means is that we'll try to find some relationships between the different columns of our files, and we will clean it. Clean it as in, for example, there are certain, there are roll numbers of certain people. Now we know that our roll numbers are 6 digit, right? But in case there are some roll numbers that are only like 4 digits or they are 7 digits long. So we need to find them. We need to find the anomalies, the things that are not supposed to be there, the things that are giving us incorrect information. Or there might be rows that do not have a roll number in them. So we need to find those things, because when we start analyzing our data, these will create problems for us. So what, before adding our information to a neural network or to any machine learning algorithm, the first thing we need to do with our data is clean it and pre-process it. This part is called EDA, exploratory data analysis. And then one more thing that comes under this is finding relationships between columns. For example, in the very simple example I gave you with the name and roll number, you will find that if that the roll numbers that begin with A have the value of roll number less. So there is a linear relationship between the name and the roll number. Likewise, many relationships would not be obvious to us. But when we create graphs, we plot maps, then we'll see a lot of things that we could not actually see with our eyes. Because when we have the CSV file, we won't have just 2 columns. We might have 30 plus columns. You cannot identify a relationship between every column to every column, right? So what we will do is do an EDA analysis, and then we'll find those relationships and see how they will help us in figuring out the things we need. For example, in this case, if the sound is related to a bird, for example, a very low sound relates to a particular kind of bird. And if it's a very high pitched sound, then it relates to some certain kind of bird. So we can calculate the range which belongs to which bird. And that would help us in identifying them. That is what we are going to do in the first week. That is this week. Now, one thing I need you guys to know is week 1 was supposed to start from Monday, but since it's Wednesday when we are having our first session, since it could not happen yesterday, so we need to speed things up a little. But see, I have kept days 6 and 7 just for addressing doubts and the brushing up of concepts. So 2 days I kept just for that. So these things are extremely clear to you. If not, you would not be able to do the first part of our project, that is EDA, right? So I need you to work very hard and I need you to understand everything you do. Any doubts you have at any given point of time, you are going to ask me. Okay, I do not want you confused. Okay, that is the first thing we're going to do. And then in week 2, we have feature extraction. What that means is, for example, here we have an audio, right? An audio is going to have certain features. There's pitch, there's a spectrogram, there's MEL spectrograms. We are going to learn everything about all the different features an audio has. If you talk about an image, there's pixel size, there's different RGB values. There's a lot of things about that picture. Even you can create a spectrogram of that picture also. And there's Fourier transforms. There are a number of things that you can extract just from an audio, a 1 second audio, a 2 second audio. It does not matter what length it is, but there are a number of features that you can extract from it. And in week 2, you are going to learn about all those features available. And then we are going to learn how we can extract them using the Librosa library of Python. Okay. And then we are going to use that features. We are going to feed those features in our machine learning algorithm. I'll give you a basic application of how we do that in week 2. In week 3, we'll get familiar with our data set and whatever EDA and FE is feature extraction, whatever we learned in week 1 and 2, that will apply on our final CSV file and our audio data. And then we'll learn how to create a neural network. Week 3 will be all about, see, when you learn how to do EDA and FE, it's not going to take a lot of your time. When you do the assignments in first week, you will realize that it will not take a lot of time. So days 1 and 2 in week 3 would be just for EDA and FE. That's more than enough time to do that. But the main thing you need to learn is how to create a neural network, what a neural network actually is. How do you use the library PyTorch? What is ResNet? These are the things you will need to know when you start building your network, when you start building your model. Now, in week 3, you will learn how to do that. And in week 4, we will be building our models from scratch. I'll show you everything, how it's done. I'll give you all the resources. And in case you do not find the resources are enough, you can ask me for more resources. You can ask me to explain if you don't understand something, or you can try to find it on the internet yourself. Okay. Anywhere you get stuck, you come to me or Shweta. Okay. Okay, and in week 4, we also have to evaluate the performance. See, you build a model. It is now classifying the birds. Okay, it hears a sound. It tells you what bird it is. But you also need to know if what the bird it's telling is right or not. Correct. So you need to evaluate the performance of it. Now, generally, in the model we are going to build, I am expecting an accuracy of 85% or more. Okay, now that is what you're going to do. And there are a lot of things you can do to improve your model, because what we are going to build would be a very basic model. It won't be very complex. So there are a lot of things you can do in order to improve it. We will see what we can do. Okay, that would be all in week 4. Now I told you what EDA is, FE. the model development and performance evaluation. That is what we're going to do. Okay, now evaluation metrics. Attendance minimum 80% is extremely mandatory in order to get ratified. We expect about 12 sessions, which means 3 per week. That is what you're going to expect. And I need you to have a minimum of 80%. I will be recording your attendance. Then in week 1 and 2, you will have these practical assignments. In week 3, I told you we'll build a very small model, right? Not the final model, but a small model. We will see what how accurately that model is performing. And then in week 4, we will have the final evaluation, that is of your fine-tuned model, as in the model with improvements done on it. Now, this has all the resources we are going to use, but these are not, you are not limited to these resources. In addition to this, I will also give you more resources to work. Now for week 1, where we are going to start with NumPy. Okay, this is the link of the notebook that I'll be sending you. Now okay, for those who have never used Google Colab, all you need to do is click on that link. You'll come here to this screen. Now for this is a cell. Okay, these are not something you need to run. These are just for your information. These are cells you need to run. Just press Shift plus Enter, run anyway, and it will run and it will give you an output. First, we are importing NumPy, and then we are creating a NumPy array. NumPy works with arrays only. Okay, if there is an image, you can even convert that image into arrays, right? An image has RGB values for every pixel, right? So you can convert an image into an array, and then you can work on that array. Whatever you want to do, you do that with the array, because you cannot like actually do it on the figure. So you run these cells and you'll find the output. Okay, now what I need you to do is understand what every cell is doing, what everything is doing. Okay, and for some time you'll have the functions written, but from here you will have some practice exercises. Okay, so I need you to learn what this all is about and then try to write the codes for these outputs. Okay, and if you get stuck, use ChatGPT, ask me, use some resources, use the internet. This is just for practice. But I would really appreciate it if you could like send me a copy of whatever you do. See, if you edit in this notebook, you won't be able to save it. So what you need to do is click on this, copy to drive. Okay, it'll create a copy to your drive. And then okay, so here when it opens, and here whatever you write, this will be saved in your drive. Okay, whatever you write, this will be saved. But here, if you try to save it, it won't get saved. Okay, I need you to save your codes and then you can give it to me. All right. Okay. That is the first thing you need to do. And there are many things here that you will not learn from this notebook only. So here I'll send you a NumPy tutorial. You don't have to remember how to do things. You need to remember that NumPy can do these things. Okay. If you want, say, okay, you have an array and if that array is from 1 to 10, you need to understand that using NumPy, you can extract values from 5 to 8 only. If you want, you can extract values from 1 to 3 only, or you can extract just one value from it. You need to learn how to do that. That is called slicing. Okay. You enter a start value, you enter an end value, and you can even enter the number of steps. For example, if your array goes from 1 to 10, you only want the even numbers. So you will start from the number 2, you will end at number 10, and your step size will be 2. So it skips one number in the middle, that is the odd value, right? So I just need you to go through all these resources and understand everything that NumPy can do. All of this will help you when you're doing your exploratory data analysis. Then, okay, here you have the practice questions, and there are some, okay, there are some more practice questions here. There's very few, but if you'd like, you can practice it. And in case you'd like to learn more, you can go to NumPy documentation and it will have everything. Now that is NumPy for you. Next thing is pandas. Pandas is more important than NumPy for our purpose. So there is this short course. See, it's only a 4-hour course that you will that I'll send you the link to, and you can understand it. You can see everything that pandas does, and I'll also send you these links to pandas exercises. Try to do them yourself, at least some of them. You don't have to do all of them, but just select random questions and try to do them. Okay, because pandas is basically what will help you in EDA. So, okay, this is all for now, I think. All right, so that's the work you need to do is understand NumPy, understand what Panda can do, practice them both. And if you have any questions, get back to me anytime you. Okay, that is all for now. And once you are clear with NumPy and Pandas, then I'll send you the resources for the next 2 libraries. Those libraries are just for visualization, because I told you, for relationships, we need to create graphs between different columns. We need to create maps. That is where you will need Matplotlib and Seaborn. So don't worry about those right now. And after this meet, I'll send you the links for NumPy. After 24 hours, I'll send you a link for pandas. Okay, in those 24 hours, I need you to concentrate on one thing only, and that is NumPys. Okay, that's all from my side. If you have any questions regarding this. Okay, you can send it anywhere, whether it's Discord or WhatsApp, it's fine. You can send the assignments anywhere, it's your choice. The first assignment will be shared right after this meet. It's not exactly an assignment. Once you are, it's basically a practice assignment. You don't have to, like, it's not necessary for you to do it, but the more you practice, the more you learn what the library is all about. As for your first official assignment for week 1, that will be shared after you guys are done with these 4 libraries: NumPy, Pandas, Matplotlib, and Seaborn. After you have done reading what these libraries can do, then we'll begin with an EDA analysis of a practice data set. That will be your first assignment. How well you do the analysis for that particular file. What kind of relationships can you get from it? The better relationships you get, the more you try to explore that data, the better your marks would be. Yes, absolutely. I'll share everything right after this meeting. All right. Are there any more questions? If not, you guys can leave. I took the screenshots for your attendance.